Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
In Moments General Hospital recap, Michael is questioned about Drew's key, and Rick names Chase as the malefactor. Willow sedates Drew to stop him from communicating, while Maxie has a surprise reunion at the graveyard with Nathan. General Hospital recap February 19th. Michael and Rick were getting ready to bring the kiddies to Willow's when Nathan called and asked Michael to come in for questioning incontinently. After he left, Rick explained to Wiley what was going on, but when he said it had to do with his pater's keys, Wiley asked if he meant the keys that Chase had taken. Michael gets called in at the station. Michael came in for questioning. Justine and Dante awaited behind the painted window to observe. Nathan told Michael about his rights to have a counsel present. Michael didn't want one, but Rick called and intruded, so Michael told Nathan it could be about his kiddies and had to take the call. Nathan left as Michael told Rick he'd good timing. Diane was unapproachable, and it was clear he'd need a counsel. Michael said he felt it was a setup, and Rick agreed. He didn't have time to explain but said he'd be there as soon as he could. He advised Michael not to talk until he got there, and that if they played their cards right, the PCPD would be on the hook and not Michael. When Rick arrived, he sat down with Nathan and Michael, who were stupefied when Nathan told him that he'd a key to Drew's house on his crucial ring. Rick called an ADA Turner to take over the questions. Nathan gratefully left the uncomfortable situation. In the hall, Dante encouraged him to go see Maxie. Maxie's homecoming party. Maxie came home to a welcome party with Mac and the kiddies in the living room. Spinelli had commodity planned, but she walked in before he came into the room. James said he couldn't stay for Maxie to see Nathan. Maxie caught Spinelli's response and looked at him quizzically. Also Brooke Lynn brought in Bailey Lou. She spent time with everyone, including Cody, whom she thanked for taking care of James and told Cody he was family. The party had failed down when Lulu got there. They had a veritably warm reunion. Brooke Lynn came by and said the kiddies had a surprise for her. When Maxie left the room, Lulu could tell Brooke Lynn was judging her. She admitted she and Nathan kissed one time, but that was all. Brooke Lynn told Lulu not to tell Maxie and said she wouldn't moreover, as it would only hurt her, and she just demanded their support. In the living room, Maxie thanked Spinelli for taking similar good care of their family. He told her that they made it work, but nothing was the same without her. Spinelli told Maxie that effects were complicated and she could take her time recycling her passions. Maxie was thankful but said she demanded some fresh air and wanted to go for a walk. Outside, Spinelli told Lulu and the kiddies that she demanded a little time but was okay. Maxie went to the graveyard and set up Nathan looking at his monument. Nathan, she heaved as he turned and smiled. Drew tries to communicate. Alexis came to be part of the handover of the kiddies, as per Willow and Michael's agreement. Willow brought Alexis in to see Drew while they were staying, and explained he could only blink formally for yes and two for no. Alexis was left alone with Drew when Elizabeth arrived. She was outdoors with Willow when Rick brought the kiddies. She and Rick smiled at one another. Outside, Alexis was streamlining Drew on Scout when she realized he was doing dramatic blinking. "Are you trying to tell me commodity?" she asked. Alexis noted that Drew was blinking 3 times. She asked if he wanted her to get Willow, but he blinked doubly. Alexis didn't know what to do, so she said she'd go get Scout and see him laterally. In the living room, Elizabeth and Willow were entertaining the kiddies when Alexis came in. She told Willow that Drew sounded agitated, like he was trying to communicate commodity, but she didn't know what. Willow sounded taken suddenly, but after Alexis left, she told Elizabeth that looking at her kiddies happy and with her made everything she did worth it. Willow also asked Elizabeth to watch the kiddies so she could check on Drew. Willow went into the bedroom and told Drew that she knew what he did and she couldn't let him do that. She fitted his 4 with drug. Brooke Lynn makes a big decision. Chase and Brooke Lynn came home from Maxie's and noted that they wouldn't be doing important babysitting of Bailey Lou presently. Brooke Lynn told Chase she was ready to start their family and look into relinquishment. Alexis came to the house to meet with them per their request, so they could get the ball rolling to borrow a child. Brooke Lynn said they wanted to start incontinently. Rick drops Wiley's lemon. Ada Turner and Dante sat with Michael and Rick in the interrogation room. Turner said this was Michael's third taradiddle that he'd been caught in, but Rick told her they hadn't proved that Michael put the key on his ring or used it the night of the firing. Rick asked that Michael be allowed to leave incontinently. Justine asked if Michael didn't put the key on the ring, also who did? Rick refocused out that a dozen people live in Michael's home. Are you inferring one of them framed him? Turner asked. I'm not inferring anything, I'm talking about one person in particular, Rick said. He revealed they had a viewer who saw someone handling Michael's keys. Was it Willow? Michael asked. No, it was one of PCPD's finest, Officer Harrison Chase, Rick told them. Dante Falconeri assigned Nathan West with questioning Michael Corinthos. Also, Drew Kane tries to ask for help, and Maxie Jones is at home. Dante tasks Nathan with questioning Michael, confused by the discovery of a key to Drew Kane's house on Michael Corinthos' crucial ring. Dante and Nathan questioned if they had caught Michael in another deception. The amusement manager instructed Detective West to question his family. Meanwhile, Michael was in the Quartermain kitchen with Rick Lansing and Wiley Corinthos, getting ready to take the kiddies to see Willow Kane when Nathan called him to the station. As Justine Turner, Nathan, and Dante awaited Michael's appearance, Justine and Dante decided to watch the interview from outside the interrogation room. Justine praised Nathan for allowing to check Michael's keys, to which Nathan replied that it was actually Harrison Chase's suggestion. Wiley gave Rick a big clue. Dante reminded them that having a key didn't mean Michael was the shooter, and Nathan misdoubted he could get a concession from Michael. Justine allowed. Michael's words during questioning could affect if they charged him with tried murder. Meanwhile, at the Quartermain manse, Michael asked Rick to take the kiddies to Willow's house. After Wiley left the kitchen, Michael revealed that the PCPD had come before with a lead for his keys. He claimed he no way had a key to Drew's house, and Rick questioned why the police were bringing him in for questioning. After Michael went to the police station, Wiley asked Rick if his pater was in trouble, but Rick was bothered when Wiley innocently asked, "The keys Uncle Chase took?" Drew looked panicked as Willow talked about spending time with her children at his home. Drew looked panicked as he watched Willow excitedly talk about spending time with Wiley and Amelia Corinthos, despite the challenges, including him. Willow also ate Alexis, who came to oversee the kiddies' drop-off but sounded irked when Willow hugged her, thanking her for the help. Willow mentioned she was happy Alexis and Rick would be there to keep the kiddies from feeling any pressure between her and Michael. Alexis talked about her tough relationship with Rick and how it affected Molly Lansing Davis. She advised Willow to set aside any issues with her partner for the kiddies' sake. Alexis wanted to see Drew and Elizabeth came with cupcakes next. Alexis wanted to see Drew to check if his situation might upset Scout Kane during her visit. In the bedroom, Willow explained that Drew could only communicate by blinking and offered to do whatever Alexis allowed would help make Scout's visit easier. After getting a textbook from Elizabeth Baldwin, who was dropping off cupcakes Aiden made for Wiley and Amelia, Willow left the bedroom. She expressed her enterprises about her kiddies feeling distant, but Elizabeth comforted her that indeed if effects felt awkward at first, they would reconnect soon. Rick arrived with the kiddies. Rick arrived to drop off the kiddies, and Willow had an emotional reunion with her son and son. Once outside, the kiddies enjoyed cupcakes, and Willow asked Liz to stay for support. Wiley wanted to save a treat for Michael, mentioning that his pater was at the police station because the police had his keys. This reminded Willow of the day she put Drew's house key on Michael's crucial ring and told Elizabeth she didn't know why the police might question him about it. Meanwhile, Drew blinked fleetly as Alexis streamlined him on Scout, trying to get her attention. Drew tried to ask for help. Ultimately, Alexis noticed Drew was trying to communicate, but she couldn't understand his 3 blinks. Feeling she was bothering him, Alexis said farewell, promising to bring Scout to see him soon. She went back to the living room where Willow was giving Wiley and Amelia their late Christmas gifts. Pulling Willow away, Alexis mentioned she had told Drew about Scout, but he sounded veritably worried, and Willow came upset when Alexis said it sounded like Drew was trying to say commodity. Willow dosed Drew again as Liz watched the kiddies once Alexis departed. Both Willow and Elizabeth set up themselves in admiration of the sheer joy radiating from Wiley and Amelia. This pleasurable sight urged Willow to enunciate that every trouble she had made to arrive at this moment had truly been worthwhile. Latterly, she turned to Liz and requested her to watch over the children while she went to see how Drew was doing. As she stepped into the bedroom, Willow brazened Drew with intensity for trying to inform Alexis about her plans. And without vacillation, she administered another curative drug to him. Rick agreed to come to the PCPD to represent Michael. When Michael got to the PCPD, he informed Nathan that he wanted to defer the meeting because Diane Miller was caught up in court. When Michael declined to respond to questions without his counsel, Nathan reminded him that they could detain him until his attorney arrived. Nathan also allowed Michael some sequestration for a phone call. It was Rick, who was calling to inform Michael about what Wiley had mentioned. Upon learning that Diane was unapproachable, Rick agreed to come to the station as Michael's counsel, assuring him that he'd modernize him once he arrived. Before they ended the call, Rick verified Michael's fear that he was stepping into a trap, adding that if they handled it rightly, the PCPD would face impacts. Michael asked Nathan to delay his questioning so he could go to Maxie's party while staying for Rick. Michael proposed to Nathan that they delay his questioning so that the operative could attend Maxie's homecoming festivity. Nathan riposted that Michael could make effects easier by answering his questions right down. But Michael smiled and said that despite his affection for Maxie, he wasn't going to risk entwining himself by talking without his counsel present. In the bullpen, Justine remarked to Dante that it was strange for Michael to criminate himself by leaving a key on his crucial ring, especially after they had questioned him about it. Dante mentioned that he and Nathan agreed Michael wouldn't be that careless, and Justine also suspected whether Michael had stumbled due to his own arrogance. Rick arrived at the PCPD after dropping off Wiley and Amelia. Rick burst into the firmament after dropping Wiley and Amelia at Willow's house and entered the interrogation room. Ready to question the suspect, Nathan asked Michael if he still claimed he didn't have a key to Drew's house. Rick told his customer not to answer and demanded to know why Michael was there. Nathan revealed that a key to Drew's house was set up on Michael's keychain. Michael claimed it was a mistake, claiming he no way had a key to Drew's home. Nathan combated that the key was with Michael, and Rick riposted that he wouldn't engage in a legal argument with Detective West, also called for Justine, who was watching from the window. Justine entered the room to take over the questioning and dismissed Nathan, while Dante told him to go to Maxie's party. Maxie's 8-home Felicia Scorpio brought Maxie home. Max Scorpio, Georgie Spinelli, James West, Damian Spinelli, Brooke Lynn Quartermain, Chase, and Bailey Lou Jones were staying. Effects got awkward when James excitedly said he couldn't stay for his mama to see his pater. As the party went on, Maxie thanked Chase and Brooke Lynn for taking care of Bailey Lou. Brooke Lynn, feeling emotional, was glad they could help since she felt helpless while Maxie recovered. Cody streamlined Maxie, and Lulu arrived. Maxie promised she wouldn't leave them again, and latterly, Cody Bell streamlined Maxie on James's writing assignments, and she thanked her family for being there for James while she was down. The party moved to the den, where the kiddies were preparing a surprise for their mama, leaving Maxie alone in the living room when Lulu Spencer arrived. After teasing her stylish friend for being late, Maxie participated that her homecoming was inviting. Lulu, having endured it too, understood how disorienting it was to wake up in a sanitarium bed while everyone differently moved on. She promised to help Maxie readjust to the land of the living, just as Maxie had done for her. Brooke Lynn and Lulu had a discussion after Maxie left the room also. Just as Maxie congratulated Lulu for being such an awful friend, Brooke Lynn walked into the living room and informed Maxie that the kiddies were staying for her in the den. Once they were alone, Lulu brazened Brooke Lynn, criminating her of judging her for having passions for Nathan. Brooke Lynn responded that she didn't believe Lulu should partake anything with Maxie unless those passions had been acted upon. After learning that they had only kissed formerly, Brooke Lynn remarked that as long as it ended there, Lulu should keep it to herself, revealing it would only hurt Maxie, who demanded all the support she could get. Lulu allowed about Nathan and their passions discussion while Cody talked to Mac about Molly. Latterly, alone in the kitchen, Lulu tried to mask her disappointment as she disregarded about her nearly kiss with Nathan and his admission that he wanted to be with her. Georgie and James had created a slideshow showcasing all the moments Maxie missed during her absence. James felt let down when Felicia told him that Nathan was stuck at work and wouldn't be attending the party. Cody commended in Mac that Molly Lansing Davis hadn't come with him because they were having issues, and Mac offered to hear if his son ever wanted to bandy it. Maxie praised Spinelli for keeping the family together as the festivity went on. Maxie praised Spinelli for holding their family together during her absence. He brought up the complex dynamics between them now that Nathan had returned from the dead. Letting her know that he understood effects might not return to their former state, he encouraged Maxie to take her time in making a choice. Feeling the need for some fresh air, Maxie stepped out for a perambulation. Spinelli comforted James and Georgie that their mama just demanded some solitariness to sort through her violent feelings and would return after her walk. Meanwhile, as the children supported Lulu with the remittal, an emotional Spinelli let out a deep shriek, concern visible on his face. Chase and Brooke Lynn decided to start a family. Maxie and Nathan's cemetery encounter. After departing from the gathering, Chase and Brooke Lynn returned to the Quartermain estate, where Chase expressed his disappointment about not being demanded for babysitting duties now that Maxie was back. In a hurry to console his woman, assuring her he wasn't trying to rush her, Chase was taken suddenly when Brooke Lynn blazoned that she was ready to start a family. The couple called Alexis over to inform her that they were prepared to continue their hunt for a child to borrow. In the meantime, at the cemetery, a thoughtful Nathan brushed snow off his own monument, lost in contemplation. Just also, Maxie appeared. She said at the sight of her apparently departed hubby and heaved his name. Nathan stood up and responded, "Maxie. Be sure to catch up on everything passing with GH right now. Come back then frequently for General Hospital spoilers, news, and updates. Love General Hospital?"